Today, I'm going to talk with you about communication in marriage. I'll start with a question. Have you ever tried to talk with a tree, or maybe talking to a tree? Did you get a response? I don't think you did, because a tree does not respond. That's how some people try to control communication. They want to speak, but they don't want other people to respond. And yet, communication is the exchange of messages from one person to another. There should be two parties involved, one sending and another one receiving, and then there should be a feedback which makes communication complete. In African tradition, women are only allowed to speak on the permission of the husband. She's not allowed to say anything if the husband has not given permission. And actually in other cultures, as we know, women are not supposed to speak anything at all. Do you know why? Because we men control them. We don't want them to speak anything. For example, every time there would be any misunderstanding or an issue, a woman would sit back in the kitchen and gives chance to her husband to sit maybe on the sitting room with the visitors or maybe with the counselors to resolve the issue that is affecting the marriage. Just imagine, one person is involved in solving a solution which is affecting both. It's not a good practice. Communication is the key to any successful marriage. And we all men know that women have a lot of words to speak. If you gave her a chance, she will speak and speak and speak, pours out her heart. That is what we are required to do as men. However much culture demands that we have to speak alone and let wives not speak, but that's not the design of God. We are all required to give one another a chance to express ourselves. It does not only fulfill the command of God, but it also fulfills the human right of a woman. She's supposed to express herself freely to her husband. When do we have to communicate? Communication has to take place at any time. When there is success, there should be communication. When there is failure, there should also be communication. When we talk about success, we are talking about good times. When there is happiness, maybe you have achieved something, there should be communication between the two. And when there is a failure as well, which is a bad time, in terms of sickness, in terms of lack, in terms of barrenness, there should be communication. Because when we give each other a chance to communicate, it creates room for a solution. Something which is shared, a problem shared, is halfway solved. What will happen if a woman every time, or if a wife every time has an issue to speak out and you are blocking her? She will continue compiling. At the end of the day, the fight will break up. Listen what Paul said in Colossians 3:19. He said, "Husbands, love your wives. Do not treat them harshly." That alone means give them a chance to speak to you as well. They have the emotions. They have things they have to talk about. Give them a chance. You know, men always hate the statement when you say, "Can we talk?" Every man hates that. But I can tell you, it is one thing that will make you progress. I have experience as well. My wife sometimes tells me, "Can we talk?" I just think, wow, this is going to be trouble. This is going to be trouble. But guess what? When I give her a chance to speak out her minds, at the end of the day, I get solution. I'm like, I think this is what she was meaning. This is what she was meaning. Sometimes I may not be having answers to every question. Sometimes I may not be having solution to every statement. But whenever she speaks out, it relieves her. Peace comes back into the family. And that's why we need communication. Why do we need to communicate? Number one, it reduces fear. You know, when you're blocking your wife from getting closer to you, she will always live in fear that what will my husband say? if I say this, what will he respond? She lives in fear. But when you allow communication to flow freely, it really does a great job in eliminating fear that has existed within her. Number two, when you allow her to communicate, it brings her closer to you. Because there is no fear, she will feel so much easy to get closer to you. So therefore, it is very important if we want to create relationship, if you want to increase the love, you want to make something work out well, let us allow communication to take place in our marriages. But there is a barrier, because sometimes, and especially in the current situation, women have taken much time. I mean, in the current situation, technology has occupied us. Sometimes we spend much time, instead of talking to our wives, might be reading phone text. I went to a restaurant and met two couples. One was using her on her WhatsApp, and another one was also on his WhatsApp. Now, I was wondering, why are they here? Why didn't everybody keep in their room and keep the communication there? Technology is killing our communication in marriage. People focus on TVs. And two, we have busy schedules. Because from Monday to Friday, you want to do work. Then on Saturday, maybe you have to visit a friend. On Sunday, you have Sunday service. So at the end of the day, you don't have any time in your schedules to really talk to your wife. And in-laws in Uganda, it also becomes another problem. Like, the in-laws come and say, don't be there. Don't talk to your wife. Don't talk to your wife. That is going to make you become so low, inferior. So at the end of the day, it really affects our marriage. And the last one among these is cultural expectations. Because we know in Africa, a man does not make mistake. In Africa, a man is a lion in his family. How can a lion speak with a rat? Of course not. So cultural expectations have also affected our marriages. Therefore, it is very important for us as men to give a chance to our wives to express themselves. Because if we do that, our marriage will thrive. But if we don't, our marriages will break. Therefore, men, I beseech you in the name of the Father that let us continue making communication take place in our families. God bless you.